I knew something was very wrong when I was in the Warrnambool hospital. First of all, when the doctor gave me endone, and then she actually sat down next to me and she put her hand on my knee. And when her hand touched my knee, I thought, she's about to tell me something awful. You've got severe preeclampsia and you've actually also got something called HELLP syndrome. You're really sick and you need to deliver your baby in the next few hours or you're going to die. When you've got a paramedic and a pilot being called out of bed to fly a plane to Warrnambool to pick you up and fly you to Melbourne, you know it's serious. They were trying to determine whether to induce me or whether to put me in for a caesarean. I remember hearing somebody say, oh, her platelets have dropped to below 50. All of a sudden, there was about 7 people around me. Okay, Donna, you've got 2 choices. We can take the baby out or you can die. What do you want to do? He did need some help breathing. Then he started breathing on his own. I didn't get to see him until the following day. I was still fairly unwell. I don't have family in Melbourne or near Epping, and I had to decide, where am I going to stay? Like, where am I going to sleep when they discharge me? Am I going to spend all this money on accommodation plus taxis? I need to be close. I need to be close to the hospital because I want to try and feed. My husband had to take a fair bit of unpaid leave and I effectively had to shut my business. I talked to them at the hospital and they said, well, we do have this parent room which you can stay in, but it's got a 2-night maximum. I stayed in the parent room for a couple of nights, and then after that I actually just started sleeping in the nursery. I'd start falling into a bit of a depressive sort of hole. It was just being in that environment constantly and being so far away from home. I sort of felt like I was homeless in a way because I just had nowhere to call home. We were waiting for a transfer for Hank, and we were waiting for a bed to become available in the Warrnambool nursery. They said, we've got a bed, and then they came back and they said no. And I think that this was probably the 4th time that had happened. And I broke down pretty badly. This was the 24th of December. It was Christmas Eve. And then one of the nurses came in and she said, I've got some news for you. We've got a bed in Warrnambool and it's definitely happening. There's a transport team coming to pick Hank up at 1 o'clock. We were about halfway and my phone rang and it was the paediatrician. And I could tell by the tone of his voice something was wrong. He said, the transport's been cancelled. But don't worry, I've organised something else. He's going to go tonight. We're going to send a nurse with the transport team to get him home to you. It must have been about 2 a.m. I got the phone call. It was actually Christmas Day. It was the best Christmas present we could have asked for. We finally had our baby home.
This is a place where I don't feel alone. This is a place.
It was emotionally tolling to be there all the time and not have that place, not have that home to go to.